Hello, Iowa City. You're listening to KRUI 89.7 FM on your radio, KRUI.FM, streaming online. My name is Justin Comer. This show is called iHearIC Radio. It's about local music and other local arts and the people who create said music and arts. Today is the 96th episode of iHearIC Radio. It is November 10th of 2019. I'd like to dedicate today's show to a friend of the program, Joshua Johnson, of the Twisted Roots and Sneezy Dollars, etc., other projects. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Josh. I hope you are listening. If not, everyone else listening, you should know it's Josh's birthday, so wish him a good one if you have any form of communication with him. Today on the show, I have two very special guests. Immediately to my left is
Shawn Hammond.
Hello, Shawn. Welcome to the studio.
Justin, thanks for having us.
And immediately to Shawn's left, I have
Connor Wade.
I almost missed turning your mic on before you said your name. I'm glad I caught
just in time.
This is a professional radio production. Perfect timing. All right. Connor, welcome to the studio. I believe you've been here before.
Yes, we did a another show with another band. I'm blanking on the show right now, but yes.
When was this?
This was, I want to say, maybe June or July this summer, with a band called Brad and the Big Wave. We did a...
Was this a Tuesday night, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay, that's Local Tunes.
Local Tunes, yes. Great show.
Yeah.
Just blanked on the name.
Yeah. It's a good show. Max Lipnick runs that show.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on that show once, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was great.
So, the two of you are here because you play music together. You are in a duo called Fever Love.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
And Shawn, what is your role in Fever Love?
I write the songs, I play guitar, sing, and play a little crappy keyboard. Play a keyboard crappily.
Got it. The keyboard is nice,
Mess
but
with too many pedals and
yeah.
Yeah.
So the keyboard it's good, but your playing
keyboard.
is
it's
not.
an okay.
Okay, got it.
He's learning.
my playing is adapted from what I know on guitar. I'm like, let's see. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a different instrument because like on a guitar you can play a very large interval and it's like just going from this string to this string. Yeah. You don't have to move your hand that much. But on a keyboard it's like you know, horizontally a much longer distance.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Plus he's usually singing at the
same time.
Depending on this part of the song, yes.
Yeah.
So. Mostly guitar and singing, yeah. And then try to shake it up with some keyboard because it's just Connor and me. Connor's on drums and he gets to play some miscellaneous percussion.
Yeah.
I made him bring his bell set from...
oh, nice.
From... Where was that from? Was that from college or high school or whatever?
Elementary school, yeah.
He's Neil Peart or something.
Yeah.
We talked about getting in some chimes, kind of like, what's his name in Step Brothers, but we haven't got that far.
What is his name on Step Brothers?
Will Ferrell?
My kids would tell me, but I don't remember.
I don't remember the characters' names.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that relevant.
Brandon or something?
Sure,
we haven't
correct.
reenacted the other most famous scene from that, which is probably not radio appropriate. But.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the bonus content.
Yeah.
So, Connor, you are a drummer. Mm-hmm. Yes. You mentioned miscellaneous percussion instruments.
Yes. So we've been trying to incorporate more of that. Like you said, bell kit, and right now the kit that we practice on has a lot more cymbals. So we have some fun stuff I get to play with, like China cymbals and a few things I don't have on my regular kit, but we're always trying to like incorporate new stuff too and bring in different sounds. Because
we play in my basement, and my son, who he just turned 17, he plays drums, but he's very much into metal and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a diverse. He likes a lot of different music, but playing, he's totally into metal. So he's got China
double bass,
double kick pedal that Connor takes.
I
was like, telling him he's
one day I'll try. I'm a single bass man.
You stay away from the double bass.
I stay away.
Yeah.
Okay.
The beginning of every practice, he's got to take my son Gavin. How you, Gavin? He's probably not listening.
Yeah.
He takes off the double kick pedal and puts his on there. And anyways, this is totally dorky stuff, isn't it?
No, it's
I love getting into just like the very
the different pedals.
the small details of exactly what your practice space is like.
yeah. Temperature is it? No. But I do drums and always try to Shawn's doing a lot of different things, so I'm trying to bring some stuff to the table to what he does. So
right. You feel like Shawn is doing like all these different kinds of things. He's bringing a lot of variety, and you don't want to just be like the drummer, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's a multitasker doing keyboard, and although some of the new songs we've been playing more guitar, but you're always switching between keyboard, guitar, vocals, which that's somewhat of a new development, but you do vocals on most of our songs too. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe it's a good idea for us to listen to something of yours.
Sure.
Longtime fans of iHearIC probably know that Fever Love performed on a concert last year. You guys were on the August 31st, 2018 show at the Mill.
That's right.
That was a fun show.
It was a good night.
Mm-hmm. That was great.
And I have played recordings from the show on the radio show before, but it's been a while. Do you remember what you played at that show?
We played Scanners and Hags and
I think Epsilon Moron, my favorite.
There are two more. Do you remember?
Yeah. What did we do?
It's a Lie.
Yep. It's a Lie. And then I'm totally blanking on the fifth one that we did.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
The last one was Only Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did do
That's
that
right.
one.
So of those five, which one do you think we should listen to now?
What do you think? Your call.
I don't know. Which one doesn't sound bad?
We'll have to remember how we played these. Maybe like Hags or...
I think Hags was your opener, so maybe
let's do
that's
that.
a good one.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, so this is Hags by Fever Love. This was recorded live at the Mill, August 31st, 2018. And I've got Shawn and Connor in the studio with me, so after we listen to it, maybe we can talk about it a little bit.
Cool.
All right, here's Hags. There we go. That was Hags by Fever Love, recorded live at iHearIC at the Mill, August 31st, 2018.
That brings back some memories.
Yeah?
It does.
I remember.
Roughly year-old memories.
Yeah, that I wish I'd remembered before you played it. No, no, I remember, I think we had been practicing a bit before the show that week, and I think I kind of blew out my voice, as you can tell in that. But also in the middle section, that kind of lags for a second, because that was the first song, and I realized we were having technical difficulties with my bass.
Yes.
So I play
Yeah.
baritone guitar, because we haven't. It's just Connor and me. So
You want
I
some
want
low
to cover.
end, yeah.
So yeah, I want regular guitar frequencies and bass guitar. So I play through a guitar amp and a bass amp, and the bass amp wasn't on. And so in that middle section, I was like, "Crap!"
Right.
I remembered your admonishment to not swear. So
You
it
can
wasn't
say
really
crap.
crap,
That's okay.
but I was like, "Connor, turn on the bass amp," and he's like, "What?
Where do I plug it in?
I'm like, "Never mind."
This one?
So,
I forgot about that too.
plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's another song that song has changed in a lot of ways since then. We actually, there's keyboard in it now, and it's a little more streamlined and straight ahead instead of sort of free time. Meandering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, you were
It was
saying
fun.
you were saying off mic while we were listening that the opening of that song used to be like how we heard it, sort of free time, just sort of spacey and
Yeah, and then
takes
we're
as long as it
"That's
wants."
Stupid. We should just need it to be tight.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I think doing some experimenting with recording too helped us really lock that in and like this needs to be more of a straight ahead part.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
Well, more about recording in just a minute. I need to do a weather report real quick. So if you will excuse
Winter
me
weather
for
advisory.
just a moment.
There's flakes.
Actually, you're right. There is a winter weather advisory from 6 o'clock to about
You're right.
about 12 o'clock tomorrow.
I
Monday,
got that on
the
my
11th.
phone earlier.
It's currently 3:30 p.m. Again, the winter weather advisory is starting at 6, so you've got a couple hours to board up your windows and watch out. Yeah. Currently, weather.com is reporting that it is sunny. I don't quite agree with that assessment, but you can see outside. There is a sun. It's 40 degrees Fahrenheit due to wind chill. It feels like 33 degrees Fahrenheit. We're getting close to freezing temperatures, and as the night progresses, we're going to dip down under there. It's currently 0% chance of precipitation and 65% humidity, 10 mile per hour winds coming from the north. The chance of precipitation increases to 90% at 1 a.m. tonight. So pretty high likelihood we're going to see a bunch of snow tonight. So watch out for that.
Bummer.
All right, so back to recording. You guys have been recording stuff?
Back in May, we did a session at Flat Black.
Black Studios, yeah.
And learned a lot, but also I don't know. It's been a crappy year for like my mom passed away a week after that studio session and stuff, and it had been going on for like 3 months, and it was just like a lot of some other stuff had happened too, and it was like that affected me a lot as a musician. Like it was just hard to be inspired and stuff after all this stuff happened. So yeah, we recorded, and then after I was like, I never I don't know if you guys are like this, but I think a lot of artists are their own worst critics, but when we did it, I was like, I didn't even want to listen to it after we did it. But granted, I wasn't in a great place at the time.
Right.
But we were joking at band practice yesterday, like, oh, it was a nice $300 lesson we learned there.
Yeah, we did learn a lot of good things. I mean, particularly that song, just there's certain parts to change. And then, I don't know, with recording, you're seeing everything. You can't hide really. All the parts are just out there and you have to face them, which is good. And definitely it was the first time we'd ever really gotten in the studio to record. And so I think that was a really a good learning process, but, maybe not the right time to record some stuff, but something that I think we'll do in the future too. But
oh yeah, we're definitely planning to do it. It was just, you can't anticipate all that.
Yeah,
was happening,
right?
And how it affects you. Sometimes you don't realize how much it's affecting you, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
I'm just having a bad day or whatever. Yeah. And then, in retrospect, you're like, yeah,
it's a lot of bad days in a row. Yeah. Stopping you from doing a lot of things.
Yeah,
I assume. Yeah. I assume you at least have like the individual tracks from the recording session.
We have some rough tracks. I think a couple of them we got. I listened to them, and I thought we got into a pretty decent place. But there's still a lot to do with those. But yeah, we have them somewhere on our drives.
Yeah, we also changed. I think for me as a guitar player, especially since like all the notes, shall we say, and melodies and all that are coming from me. Like there's a lot of I don't want to say too complicated. I felt like our sound, I got a new amp that I felt was better for our overall sound. And I run my keyboards through my same guitar pedals and same guitar amps and everything. So I feel like the sound has come together better more that I have using this other amp that seems to.
And that amp came around after the recording session.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But that sounds like a stupid guitar player excuse, right? But,
well, I think you're particular about like what sounds you like too, which probably even more than me, where it's like you want the exact sound that, and you have all the different guitars that you like to use.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing. I mean, you just know what sound you're after.
Yeah.
And,
well, and it can be tough. Like if you get your guitar to sound right, but then your keyboard going into it is
right.
obviously
The
not a
whole mix.
guitar. So,
Right. It can be
so
totally different.
finding the right balance where the pedals work with the keyboard in the same way or in a complementary way. Or so, because if I go to a keyboard from guitar, I don't want to. A big part of the evolution of our stuff has just been like, what can I do all by myself at once? Like, I don't want to be tap dancing on pedals while I turn my volume on my guitar down and switch to the keyboard, but I don't want to have a big long break either between that. You got to do it in a couple beats. Or
Yeah, so you're sort of like navigating how much you personally can physically achieve at once.
Yeah, I've had to do a lot of streamlining of work.
Physically and mentally, because I mean, you do have to think about these actions as you're taking them.
Yeah, totally. I used to,
yeah.
I mean, since it's just me and Connor, I like reverb a lot, but it's not like if I were playing in another band with several people, I wouldn't use as much reverb as I do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I got to fill out some space there because it's just my voice and my guitar for the harmonic information. And I used to use again, I'm going to get like total guitar nerd, but do you know what an expression pedal is? Where you can control the amount of reverb. So I'd be like, oh, for this part, I can make it go really big and spacious and atmospheric. And it's cool to be able to do that. Like you couldn't do that a few years ago with pedals, but now you can. But it was just, after a while, I was like, that's just one more thing I have to think about is where's my foot? Because it's like a volume pedal, like like in an organ or something where you have to move it back and forth and have to find the right spot. So I was like, okay, that is cool that I can do that, but that's just another thing I got to simplify. So I just find a happy medium setting that just I always leave it on. And same with delay, like on an echo pedal, good ones you can tap in a rhythm so that the echo matches what you're playing, the tempo of your song. And I used to do that a lot, and I was like, I need to free up space in my brain to sing and switch instruments. So I just found a setting that works for everything, and I don't care if it matches up with the tempo of the song. It still sounds good, and actually it's kind of cool because it creates more atmosphere. It doesn't matter that it matches the tempo.
Right, you've got a little bit of more of a rhythmic complexity layer wise. There's something else going on. Yeah. So
it's been a big learning experience because until Connor and I played together, I didn't sing and play in a band. I was always, with other singers or whatever. But it was just I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I've lived here about 10 years for my job and stuff, but spent a lot of time trying to find people who wanted to play similar music to me, play originals. And I live in Cedar Rapids, and it's a little bit of a different scene up there than Iowa City. I think it's fair to say a lot of the people, there's some really good musicians up there, but most people seem to want to be in cover bands, or just maybe I just like weird music. I wanted to play my own music. I respect people who play in cover bands, and that's awesome, but that's not what I want to do. I want to make my own music, not because I think it's better than anyone, but that's just, I need to express myself. Yeah. And it was tough to find not only like-minded people who wanted to play original music, but if you've been in bands, that's only a third of it. You got to find people who are dependable and that you can get along with while they're
right. There's personality aspects. There's scheduling aspects. That seems to be the biggest disqualifier in my life so far, is just not having time to get together.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes so many projects just don't happen because our schedules don't line up. Yeah.
So you can always find someone who matches one of those important things, but it's hard to have them all match up. And finally, after I was just like, I'm not going to look for a bass player anymore. I'm not going to look for a singer. I'm just going to do it myself. But it's been a learning curve. That's for sure, especially do it all kind of weirdly with baritone guitar. And you can write songs. Certain songs just don't work in certain keys. Certain songs that I've written on regular tune guitars. I tried playing them on a baritone guitar in a certain tuning, and it just you're like, that song does not sound good anymore.
Yeah, I mean, your
it's
voice
strange.
you'll be singing different pitches, so it'll sound different to you and feel different.
Well,
Yeah.
even just if you even setting aside the singing, just like the actual chords, sometimes they sound that sounds awesome on my Telecaster, but on my baritone guitar, it's like, oh God, why? That's not even a good song.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's been a lot of learning and with, balancing all those things. And Connor's always been cool through it all to be patient. And I mean, Connor's an awesome drummer, but he's also a cool dude, and we hang out, and that's
Just have fun. Yeah.
rare. Like, I don't know. It's hard to find someone who's super cool as a person, but also a really good musician and wants to do the same kind of thing. So I'm really lucky that.
Yeah. I
to
feel
have
that too.
found
Like
Connor.
I mean, even after once we started playing as a duo, we tried to incorporate different singers. I think we had a couple singers that we tried, and I think maybe a keyboard player too over the past couple years.
Yeah.
We've been playing for like 4 years maybe. But yeah,
Has
I
it
think
been 4?
I think it's like almost 3 or 4, I think.
Anyway,
Right.
yeah, and maybe we're coming up on 4. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, for whatever reason, those were just didn't really fit with the sound, and so yeah, we're just going full force
We're
with
just like, screw it.
I don't know,
The more people, obviously the more exponentially, you have exponentially more of those issues
Right.
to
Right.
deal
It becomes
with.
more
So,
difficult. Yeah.
right.
so as much as I'm bitching about dealing with all my gear issues, it's simpler than hoping that you find a good match with other people. At least it's in our control,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot easier with just one other person. I guess most of what I've done the last few years has just been like duos or trios. I guess Wombat is a trio, but and now Carlos is in Philadelphia, so now it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many factors. Something you said was like it seems rare to find cool people.
Which might
that's
sound a
basically what you
little
said.
harsh. Not cool, but people that you
Connect with. Or,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't. I feel similarly. Like it seems like it's harder to hang out than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like I guess as a kid it seemed like people can just hang out whenever they want, right? But now it's like I never see anyone. I don't know if you guys have similar experiences, but
I don't know.
it seems a lot harder to spend time with people to me than it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that's just as you get older, and you have
Yeah.
more responsibilities and you got to make money and stuff. But I don't know if it's any different among musicians than it is just among people who aren't musicians. But it's, there can be egos, where you like find someone who you're like, they're really good, but they're not very responsible or whatever. They're always late. Like I was in a band, my last band in Salt Lake City before we moved here, like 10, 12 years ago. Like the bass player was awesome, but he was like always at least 30 minutes late to practice, or maybe an hour. And like, dude, I have a full-time job. I have kids.
Yeah.
I can't just sit around here for half an hour while he doesn't have any, I don't know if he had a job, but like, hey, maybe respect the other, there's 4 other people in the band.
Right. It's
Dude.
hard to get this many people together at one
Yeah.
time. So yeah, I mean,
Plus he was,
Can't say
he was kind of he was such
means that
Right.
we're respectful of that, and like, we always try to find whatever time will fit into our schedule. Like a lot of times, like Sundays were great. Like what time we'll fit in, and we'll get together and just hang out and play music and stuff.
So you mentioned that you've been playing together maybe 4-ish years.
2016?
maybe we're coming up on
Okay.
4.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, 3.5 maybe.
Yeah. So how did you guys meet? Like, how did you start playing together?
So I had been playing with some other guys in Cedar Rapids, and then of course you have problems with them. You hook up with great people, and then they like a really great. Connor lives down here in Iowa City, but I just kept striking out. So I was like, and one of the salespeople there, Greg, what's his last name again?
Herring, I think.
Herring.
Yep.
I'd been just by going in there and stuff, and I was like, hey, you want to jam sometime? And so he's like, yeah, he's always up for a jam. Greg loves playing. He plays with a lot of different people all over the place, and he rounded up Connor on drums. I had never met Connor before. I don't think I had ever seen you in there either, because you used to work at that same store.
I was working there, and I think Greg and I were good like work buddies, and we just played like him and guitar, and me were probably playing like White Stripes covers or something. And then he was like, "Oh, I got this guy Shawn. He works at Premier Guitar. Like, this is the guy. This is gonna be like our next band." I'm not even joking. Like, really? And so
I haven't heard this part.
And so and I was like, "Oh, cool. Who's this guy?" And so then we just had like a practice at your place.
And he got a bass player who was a really cool guy and really good. I unfortunately can't remember his name because it has been like 4 years since that, I think.
Right.
And I think I talked to this nameless bass player about playing again, but he was like, I think he had a new kid and stuff, and he said he didn't have time.
It seems to be a recurring issue.
Yeah. So anyway, after we got together with Greg and Connor and this bass player, was there someone else too? I don't remember.
I think it was to the four of us.
Okay.
Yeah, just the
so
four.
we had a jam and just we just throw out a key or something and just jam. And after that, I was like, Connor's a really good drummer. And at the end of that jam, I was like, Connor, give me your number.
Yeah. Is that kind of, yeah.
So, and then we just started texting and saying, it was love at first sight.
Yeah. It's truly a love story here.
Awesome. That's great. I got to play a Grant spot real quick.
Cool.
And once that's over, we'll get back to the love story.
Support for KRUI is brought to you in part by the Englert Theater. The Englert highlights the talents of local performers, artists, ensembles, and also hosts regional, national, and international touring performances. The Englert is located at 221 East Washington Street. For more information, call 319-688-2653 or visit www.englert.org.
Yes, the Englert. I spent all day there yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just tuning in, this is iHearIC Radio here on KRUI. I'm Justin. I am joined in the studio today by Fever Love, Shawn Hammond, and Connor Wade.
Thanks for having us.
We were just discussing how they met. It's a very inspirational
for all of those out there.
Story. Yeah. Brings a tear to your eye. You mentioned Premier Guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that? Or maybe you mentioned Premier Guitar. I don't know.
Yeah. Just part of the whole, how we kind of got together and started to play, or how I knew of Shawn, I guess.
Right,
yeah.
yes.
But
yes, I moved to Iowa for my job at Premier Guitar, premierguitar.com. It's a guitar, obviously, website and
it's
magazine. And I've been there about 10 years. I had never been to Iowa before that. I worked at a couple other guitar magazines in my past. I studied journalism in college.
Oh, nice.
Worked at a couple newspapers. And anyway, that's what brought me here. My wife and I had never been to Iowa, and we had never anticipated moving here.
Had you lived in Salt Lake City your whole life before that?
No, we lived in the Bay Area a couple times in north of San Francisco, and then just south of San Francisco 2 different times when I worked at the 2 other guitar magazines. And all I ever knew about Iowa just made me think of Radar O'Reilly on MASH. So we moved out here, moved our family here for that job, and it's been a really good job. It's a lot of fun. I'm the editorial director there, and so I oversee the editorial stuff.
Editorials, yeah. And you mentioned going to school for journalism. Connor, what did you go to school for?
I went to school for music here, actually, at Iowa, and did percussion, performance, and then a little business stuff too, business classes. Kind of, I guess, entrepreneurship, just kind of a long word. So.
And you also work at the Englert, the sponsor of this show we just heard from.
Yeah.
Did you arrange that?
Just sure, yes.
There's a button here that I click. It just randomly chooses one.
Okay.
But yeah, go Englert. Shout out to Katie, Andre, if you're listening.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi, Katie.
I will shout out them as well. How long have you been working for Englert, Connor?
Probably about the similar time of how long this band is, because I was working at West, and then at the same time I was working there full time, I got an internship at the Englert, working with Katie Roach and doing development and fundraising, and then kind of just shifted to going full time at the Englert. So it's been about maybe 3.5 years working over there. So.
That sounds like a easy transition.
It was nice. Yeah, it was a little hard. Yeah, a little hard just with because I started out just part time, at the Englert, but I just loved the job. And then I worked at Dumpling Darling too, just to have like some more income coming in. So that was kind of an interesting
He
period.
really likes dumplings too.
I'm a dumpling man. So, but that was a hard transition. But now it's very, I'm happy with where I'm at. So
Good.
yeah.
Should we listen to another song? Would you be up for that?
Yeah.
Do you have a
which one do you
preference?
Maybe like Epsilon.
Sure.
My fave.
I like that one a lot too, actually. All right, so here is Epsilon Moron. This is by Fee for Love. Again, recorded live at iHearIC at the Mill, August 31st of 2018. And once again, I have these guys here in the studio with me. So once we've listened to it together, maybe we'll have a little discussion about it.
Yeah.
Maybe Shawn will find things he doesn't like about how they
You're so negative, Shawn.
All right, here we go. Epsilon Moron. All right, that was Epsilon Moron by Fever Love. You're listening to iHearIC Radio here on KRUI. I'm Justin, and I'm here with Fever Love, Shawn Hammond, and Connor Wade. Hey,
What's
guys.
up?
Hey.
So before I ask any questions, do you have any thoughts you want to get out on the recording we just heard?
Sean.
Oh, yeah, you can. I sound like Tom Waits after like a Coke bender or something. I totally blew out my voice, but
That's cool, though. I mean, Tom Waits is great.
I said after a Coke bender.
Oh, okay, sure.
No, that was a fun one, though. I mean,
Yeah, and I think after we've changed it to the key, was it? The keyboard's like a new development on that one, right? And then because that version didn't.
No, that had keyboard
okay.
at the beginning.
Just
I think we pay it a little bit longer. There's
yeah.
There are subtle little fine tunings that we've done on a lot of the songs since then, just as we kind of fill things out. And I don't know, I think lots of bands do that. But yeah, that was a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could hear I missed my fuzz pedal at the end there,
I didn't notice that.
You could tell that the bass amp was on for this
The
one.
bass amp was on.
Yeah.
Finally, yeah.
It was fired up, yeah.
Connor turned that on for me.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah,
So-
that's one of my favorite ones to play. You
That
always
was
make
your
fun of me.
that was your closer for that one. So
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
a high energy
Yeah.
thing at the end.
Don't think we'll do this one at the next show, but we always like to play that one. Yeah.
That one, a lot of my lyrics, at least on the two that we played, not on all, but on a lot of times they're inspired by like books I've read or whatever. Like the first one, Hags, has some sort of quasi quotes from Macbeth.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's not
yeah.
like some
I was just going to ask you about
misogynistic thing or anything.
I was just going to ask you about lyrics, so you're reading my mind.
Cool.
This is good
So
radio
Hags,
synergy.
Yeah,
we've got.
Hags is based on the hags from Macbeth, not being like a
Not just
D-bag or
all
anything.
women.
No.
Not the Hags.
We wanted to be, or I wanted to call the group the Hags.
That's what I
but
was
we didn't
alluding
want people
to.
think we were misogynist.
I had
aspirin eaters.
That was my one
That's like
complaint.
right on the line. You're
I
good.
was like, we can't do that name.
And you liked it too, you said, but he was worried.
But
that-
then
kind
I
of
was
a harsh word.
I was like,
Yeah.
we can't.
we're like polling our friends. Like I have women friends of mine who are like, yeah, that's totally nothing wrong with that. Anyway, and then Epsilon Moron is actually inspired by some stuff in Brave New World, which the Alpha Beta.
Right, they have sort of
those were like
a
the
caste
different
system,
castes
yeah.
in the society, yeah. And then I kind of morphed it with some, I don't know, thoughts about just click it, swipe it, like it, you know.
Okay,
Mix it
okay.
into
the brave new world we're experiencing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact for you, maybe, Connor. The book Brave New World, I read that while on the clock at West Music.
nice.
I love that.
Some days
Getting
are
some
really
stuff
slow.
done at work. Yeah.
Yeah, some days are really slow.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
It's nice when you can do that on the job, isn't it?
It's
Although it makes the day go a lot slower.
depends. I mean, so the day that I'm thinking of was Black Friday, which
Oh my
if you're on the
God.
sales floor, that's like a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
But I was working more of a desk job. you
Yeah.
know, I was hitting
The
the back.
schools were not ordering. from
Schools
you that
weren't
day.
open.
Yeah.
The other businesses we
Nice.
work with weren't really open.
Sweet.
So it's like, I might as well read a book on my work computer.
Sweet.
I was busy selling flutes and used clarinets.
Yeah, you were probably just swamped, but
yeah,
I was having
3.5
a great
reads.
time. It is 4:00, so I will remind the listeners you're listening to KRUI in Iowa City, and we thank you for doing so. Okay. Well, what do you guys have coming up? I know of at least one thing.
We got the show at the Mill that you are putting on, Justin.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
iHearIC.
On
Glad to have you
November
back.
21st at doors are what again? 8 or something.
The show starts at 9.
9.
I guess I should.
You can
probably
come.
get
You can
that
come
down.
whenever. It's fine.
Get some food, hang out.
Yeah, we like
Yeah.
playing the Mill a lot. It's a cool
Yeah.
place. that's the only thing on the books right now. Like I said, it's just been kind of the worst year in my personal life for a long time with the stuff that happened. And, it wasn't just that. Like we had to put our dog to sleep after she had cancer and was like starving to death, and then some lovely driver decided to total my car for me.
I remember that. Yes, yeah.
All sorts of stuff like that. Basement flooded.
You did have a rough year.
So we're digging out from that. Things are going better, and we're looking to record and do more shows.
Yeah, I think this will be a good first show. Though it's after a while, we love playing iHearIC, and there's some other cool local bands playing, and after that, we'll have to see what other
looking to line up more shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Any other non-Fever Love things you want to plug on the show?
Can't think of.
I mean,
any.
Connor, I know you're in another band. At least you could mention them if you'd like.
Yes, Brad and the Big Wave. We're not playing a show until February, I think. We're playing at Iowa Brewing Company.
Nice.
I forget the exact date in February, but yes.
Brad and the Big Wave. You can follow them on social media and probably find out when that show is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think he was trying to set us up to tell people to do that too, but we were too dumb to catch.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Facebook, Fever Love, maybe Instagram in the future. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Get on Instagram.
You can run the Instagram.
Facebook.
Too many
You can find
social.
us on there.
Yeah, your Facebook URL, I believe, is Fever Love Band, so pretty easy to find. I'm looking forward to any sort of recorded music you guys put out.
Thanks, man.
I would love it if you found something to salvage in your flat black recording session from earlier this year.
We'll go in and tinker with it. Yeah. I don't know. In the future, I think. We'll get some.
We're definitely planning on getting back in the studio and on the stage. Hopefully the year's better.
2020.
Yeah.
2020 vision.
Hopefully it's better in many ways.
Yeah.
Not to get political. Thanks for having us on here, Justin.
We can get political as you'd like. Any endorsements you'd like to make on the show? It's totally up to you.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie. I would be happy with Bernie or Elizabeth Warren. I think they're both, even though obviously they have differences, but I think
Same, yeah.
they'd be great on the same ticket, really. But I guess we'll see how things go. I would be happy with either one.
Well, it's nice to have some like-minded folks in the studio. Pretty much every week this comes up, like everyone's in agreement. So I'm I'm glad we're all pretty happy with Bernie Sanders. Let's wrap up the show, okay? Sound good to you
sounds
guys?
good. Do it.
All right, cool.
What do we need? A rap?
Oh, you
can.
You want to give me like a?
I'll do a beat.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So, folks, here are some shows coming up this week that you may be interested in. Tonight at 6:30 p.m. at the Mill, Poetry and Motion. Our friend Caleb Rainey is hosting this one. Features a bunch of spoken word along with some music by Ross Klauser, jazz guitarist. Also tonight, starting at 8 p.m. at Gabe's, a show featuring Bob Bucko Jr. with human host, Mustard-in-Law, and Roosh Mayer.
That name, Mustard-in-Law.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
they are very fun. I saw actually Bob and Mustard-in-Law play at Trumpet Blossom a couple weeks ago, and that was a very fun show. Mustard-in-Law does a sort of like noise collage kind of show. They're like playing tapes on stage. They've got some projected video stuff going on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Sweet.
So if you want to go to Gabe's tonight at 8, you could see them. On Tuesday, the 12th at 8:30 p.m. at Trumpet Blossom, a show featuring Girlwood, Starry Nights, and Cult of Volak. On Wednesday night, the 13th at 7:30 at Hill House. This is a house show, so you may need to message someone for the address. This is a metal show featuring Malevich, I'm not sure how to say it, I'm sorry. Closet Witch, Rig Time, and Zool. And then on Thursday, the 14th, 10 p.m. at Gabe's, the Eastern Iowa Bond Project Dance Party Fundraiser. It'll be a good time. Lots of dance music, DJs. I need to scroll over here to read the rest of this one. On the 17th, that's next Sunday, 1:30 p.m. in Voxman Music Hall, Room 5, Kim Casisa is putting on a clarinet recital, the title of which is Celebrating Solitude, Works for Unaccompanied Clarinet. Same night, same afternoon, sorry. The 17th, next Sunday, 4 p.m., Writers Open Mic, Iowa City Public Library. Thank you to friend of the show, Laura Fellman, for inviting me to that. And then later that night, so this is a busy Sunday, 6 p.m. at Trumpet Blossom, Feed Me Weird Things show number 47 with Amy Dang. All right. That's everyone else's stuff that I'm going to plug.
Sweet.
Now I'm going to plug my own stuff real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so the YouTube playlist for October's iHearIC show is now available to the public on our YouTube page, youtube.com/iHearIC. Next Thursday, the 21st, at the Mill. Show starts at 9. You'll hear performances by Sneezy Dollars, Everyday People Say What, In Voce, and Fever Love. The folks we've been talking to all day today. And then later on this year, December 8th will be the 100th episode of iHearIC Radio. I just got approval from KRUI to book the studio from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Whoa, so that's sweet.
It'll be an early day for me, but I'm planning on doing kind of a bigger show that day. So
awesome.
We may get some surprise guests from the past. You guys are actually welcome to come back if you'd like, anytime that day.
Thank you. Sweet.
I'll also give out the phone number for people who would like to call in, but we'll get to that next month when it happens. And then later that week, December 13th, the final iHearIC live show of the year at Trumpet Blossom, featuring performances by Anastasia Schultz, Thieves, Worship, and Gersony Vanek. Another recent development in iHearIC news, KICI, the community radio station here in Iowa City, has begun replaying iHearIC radio episodes. You can find the programming schedule at kiciradio.org to find when they will next be playing an episode of iHearIC radio. Next week, I'll be here in the studio, the 17th at 3 p.m. I'll be doing a preview of the show at the Mill next week, so you may hear some more Fever Love recordings. And, okay, that's everything. If you like what you heard today, you can find more iHearIC stuff at iHearIC.com. Links to all of our social media and podcast platforms on that page. If you have music you would like me to know about, if you want to get in touch for any reason, the best way to do so is via email, iHearIC@gmail.com. All right, plug section over. We've got all of the obligatory plugs out of the way.
I like Zool. That was like a Ghostbusters reference. Huh?
Yeah. They're a great band, too. If you have the chance to see them.
The Hill House, is it haunted?
Hill House.
Hill House.
It's a haunted name because they spell it Haus, and all German things have ghosts involved, right?
Nice.
But yeah, House on Haunted Hill. That's an old horror movie, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Haunting of Hill House is the
That's another.
book
Yeah.
Actually, I've got some lyrics that are inspired by that book too.
The band Closet Witch is a really cool band too.
They are
You probably
awesome.
want to check.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of them, but I think Iowa City based.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Sweet.
They've been making a name for themselves too.
Yeah.
They've been touring a lot. All right. Well, I think that about covers it for today. Do you have any closing words of wisdom? I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you have any just at the tip of your tongue, just let them out now. Now's the time.
Listening to iHearIC.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for all that you're doing with the community.
Well, hey, thank you guys for
musicians, man.
Yeah, I love doing it. Thank you guys for being two of those musicians. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for coming on the show today. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, Justin.
Always a good time to see you.
Yep.
That was a weird way to say that. Always a good time to see you. But hey, it works, I guess. Let's close out with some new music. I got this off of Bandcamp. This is a band called Texas Hold'em Lava Dome. They just put out an album this week called Pompous Fanfare for All Occasions. And this is the opening track from that. It's called This Has Always Been True. If you would like to find this for yourself on their Bandcamp page, it is texashold'emlavadome.bandcamp.com. And here it is. And after that, we will be done. So we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
KRUI, Iowa City.
My name is Leslie Odom Jr. Keep listening to 89.7 FM, KRUI, Iowa City, your sound alternative.